Now, of course, on the earth, the transitions are not quite as, you could say, pointed as they are in the spirit world. So in the spirit world, you can't actually enter the sphere above it without actually getting into the condition of love that sphere desires. On earth, you could actually you could progress to the second dimension or the second sphere, but have dealt with emotions that you could have dealt with normally in the fourth dimension. So you can actually deal with emotions way up here, down here, right? Which of course is going to aid your progression as you progress through the dimensions. But if you remember those primary things, then you have a good idea of where you are if you're honest with yourself about what's going on in your own life. Now, the key is to not then judge all of that and then go, 3 years, and I'm still in the first sphere. 3 years.
That's what I was going to say before, though, when I was giving my up the hill
Mary
analogy.
said that to me once, actually. 3 years, and I'm still in the...
I think it was 2 years, maybe.
She came up to the house, it might have been 2 years, and she says, I'm like a crack addict, like that crack addict. She's crack addict, still in addiction thing. Yeah. And the key is to be honest with yourself about where you're at.
And that's the awakening of your soul that they talk about in the Paget messages. It's vital to actually taking a step up. You have to see the truth of where you're at, like emotionally. Yeah. But what I was going to say in my going up the hill analogy, we got cut off and it sounds very bad.
Sorry.
It's all right. Is that it's tough going through these two spheres. But I feel like you get here and there's like this little elevator door and you step in and you're like whizzing. It feels comparatively to the first and second sphere, and I'm talking about memory now because I'm not in that elevator yet, but honestly, once you've established these relationships and the desire for truth, it's quick. It's really quick. And it's just that we live in a plane that is really drenched in fear. And it does take work to undo what we've been taught. And it feels tough and it feels long, but you will know when you're starting to take these steps because you feel different. You're not just telling yourself a story anymore and going, well, I'm a bit better on that and I did have a cry on that. You go, no, I can feel there's something different now. There's a surety in me that I'm not going back to that place. I don't want it anymore. And the more steps you take, it feels like to me, this is like, can I be crude? There's a lot of shit in here. There's a lot of shit that we've accumulated and we've got to get rid of, and it feels pretty crappy. But to me, it's like the fertilizer of the soil. Humility is like fertilizing the soil for our growth. And it's like when we take that step, the seed germinates. And like Jack and the Beanstalk, we've got so many more footholds and it feels easier. And I feel that that's really so important to remember.
You're so good in your passion, girl.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be giving up swearing, and I couldn't do it.
I've got you all embarrassed now.
Yeah.
So where do you think you are, darling?
Honestly, about here. Yeah. I feel like these things are really becoming very important to me, and so is truth. But I know that I'm not 100% of time in truth, like in really scary situations. Yeah. I maybe don't.
And you're now just starting to embrace your fear in a really positive way.
Yeah, just allowing it a lot more.
Whereas before, living in it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that help? Yeah?
Very much.
Now, can you see as we go sort of higher in the dimensions, there's obviously going to be further things to learn, but can you see it's sort of almost pointless discussing them if we've yet to get beyond these points, And
these bits are the basis for I'm passionate about it. For everything on the path, This, if we master this, It is so easy and it's beautiful. Like, it's, you know, those piles that we were talking about? There's things that go in that shore pile that are magnificent in my mind. You know it's there and it feels really good. Yeah.
So, here, when we're here in this part of our progression, we're often going, oh, jeez, why did anybody tell me about this? Like,
I was happier before this crap.
I was happier before this began, and now I was happy in my delusion of this, in my delusions and denials, and now I know about them. Oh, gee, and we go on like that quite a lot.
And you try and forget. You go, oh, that's it. Deleting that stuff about emotions, and then you walk halfway.
And we're often complaining about how hard it is all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard. We meet together with other people who are on the path. We go, jeez, this is so hard, isn't it? It's terrible.
Or we have the compulsive discussions. So I think I've got this emotion. I've been thinking about it, and I've got this emotion with my mum, and it's really shit, isn't it? You've got that emotion too, don't you?
No, I don't have that emotion. We do have all these discussions, that go on all the time, and we're talking about our emotions, but never really feeling most of them. Right? That's how it is there, and and then we have we're almost afraid to see AJ. Like, many of you have this going on all the time. Just, what's he going to say to me next? What's he going to say to me next? That's all because of our fear, you see. That's the fear of truth. That's the fear of hearing more truth. When we hit this second dimension, a lot of that starts alleviating. You start feeling, hang on a sec, I might be afraid still, but fear is not dominating my life. And I'm not afraid of the truth so much anymore. I want to hear the truth more, have a much stronger passion and desire to hear the truth. So when Mary and I were living together with Mary in this place, I found it really quite difficult, because it's like almost every word out of my mouth, there is a fear-based response coming from Mary.
Justifying my
Justifying
position.
the fear, justifying why she should be angry or upset with me in that process or whatever. And then as soon as Mary moved into this place, all of a sudden, it's lovely to live with Mary, right? Because Mary goes from now she's not projecting a fear. She still does that sometimes, but she's not living in that place anymore.
I won't let it dominate my life.
Where there's just a barrage, right? And now also she activates her desires. Her desires for God in particular first. They're the ones to generate first. So if you don't even have a desire for your soulmate, well, don't worry about that. Focus on your desire for your God first, then focus on your desire to get to know yourself, right? And in that process, the soulmate thing will slowly work its way out. By the way, the soulmate stuff often doesn't work its way out till there, right? The reason why is we have so many intergender emotional injuries, we don't want to engage with the opposite gender. And if our soulmate is of the opposite gender, then we've really got some major work to do. And unfortunately, for many who have a soulmate of the same gender, we've got so many blockages to the same gender as well, due to different things growing up, that often, even by that stage, we're yet to resolve some of those emotions. So if we can focus on these things first, to be frank, if the earth has really never known very many people in this state, in the third dimension, historically.